Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to the New Feminine platform, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber to our soft power community, then hello and hi and welcome. Now, this video, of course, may ruffle some feathers, but you can go argue with your cankles. But as a creator, it is my job to stay tapped into the controversial trends of social media and the topic of interracial dating, and by extension, marriage, and how it pertains to quote unquote better is always worthy of a discussion and an unpacking and a breakdown, especially when there is this repetitive pattern of solely focusing on race as a barometer or as a measuring stick of being a better option. When we all know that there is so much more to what makes a person quality than race when it comes to happily ever after, especially in the game of hypergamy. And unfortunately, in the case of Mr. Telbo Rackens, the words that he chose to speak in life, not surprisingly, came back to haunt him in death. But here is the short of the long for those of you who need a bit of a backstory.
Did you hear about the man in Georgia who was shot and killed by his girlfriend, yet she wasn't arrested because she said it was just an accident? At 5:45 on Sunday morning, the police were called to the home of Telvin Osborne, also known as Telbo Rackens, in Midville, Georgia. When police arrived, they found Telbo deceased from a single gunshot wound to the chest, and his girlfriend, Hannah Grace Cobb, admitted to shooting him. 28-year-old Hannah Grace Cobb is the mother of Telbo's two children, and police say she's fully cooperating with the investigation. Yet, Telbo's family says, "Why is there investigation? She should be in jail." More details emerged, and it turns out that hours before Telbo was killed, the two had went out dancing at the club. And when they returned home, she was reportedly drunk, and she took out a weapon, began cleaning it, and claimed that the weapon misfired, shooting him in the chest. But nobody believes that. Most of all, his family, who have questions that nobody has been able to answer. Telbo's brother, Roderick Osborne Williams, questioned, why wasn't the gun on safety while you were cleaning it? And who parties, goes home with their significant other, and immediately starts to clean a gun in the middle of the night? Roderick believes this is a cover-up, and Hannah Grace is about to get away with murder. Researchers actually found footage on Telbo's Instagram story from hours before the killing, and it shows Hannah dancing wildly at the club and pointing up the gun sign at Telbo while he's filming. Here you can see Hannah dancing in the club and pointing the gun symbol at Telbo while he's filming. The camera seems to linger on these girls a little bit too long, and watch Hannah's face. She's giving him the death stare. Here she goes again. Neighbors who know the couple say that Hannah has always been extremely possessive and controlling of Telbo, and they believe she is capable of hurting him intentionally. Do you think Hannah shot Telbo by accident, or is there some kind of police cover-up?
Now, the main takeaway from this video is that people are going to have to learn one way or the other to stop making interracial dating their entire personality. So sorry to this man, and I hope that his family can get justice. But unfortunately, Mr. Telbo made some very disgusting and some very disparaging remarks about Black women that I am not going to repeat because I am a lady. But unfortunately, this man openly platformed both his hate and his insecurities, only to have his othered blessing unalive him and send him to the upper room. And now, unsurprisingly, his death is being met with very little compassion and indifference, and is being met with the same hate and the same sarcasm and the same vitriol that he served up with his tongue while he was still here on earth. So you ladies, be easy in the comments. And to be fair, I have seen this self-hating phenomenon on both sides of the gender fence, with both Black men and Black women who go out of their way to denigrate, to hand out unearned praise, to humiliate, to drag, and to platform or to sales pitch this idea of betterness when it comes to other races and both genders, who sadly go out of their way to sell their relationships as some sort of status symbol, only to embarrassingly get financially taken to the cleaners, or in Mr. Telbo's case, unalived. And sadly, these kinds of stories with both Black men and Black women are going to keep happening as long as they are committed to openly projecting their self-hate. So the question now remains, when will people ever learn that the power of the tongue is so real that you can literally end up pulling a coffin out of your mouth. Now, at this point in the social media game, we all have seen plenty of platformed channels that are dedicated to highlighting these karmic will cases. And we all know that there are always going to be those creators who are always going to use their negative biases and their insecurities, and who are always going to be those goofy goobers and their echo chamber, washed up rhetoric, and who use social media as a nasty weapon to not only push their brainwashing, but also to push their personal insecurities and their inferiority complex to prove a point and to influence the court of public opinion on how low they think of their own kind, and under the guise of quote unquote performative concern, not realizing that it will always be law that the same misinformation hole that you dig for others will be the same hole that you fall into yourself. Now, it is a free country. You are allowed to date and love whomever you want, and people are allowed to platform their hate under the protection of law, which is the freedom of speech. But the freedom of speech will never be the freedom from consequences. And I need to remind my audience that the people who are truly happy in their personal relationships, whether interracial or not, do not need to make a 24/7 sales pitch on how happy they are with other races. But people also need to be reminded, especially if you are a very hostile or a very aggressive, insecure male creator, that we all have an expiration date, and that if you want kindness and compassion in the afterlife, then you need to live and speak as how you want to be remembered. That is how this works. Because every time that you go out of your way to disrespect your own, whether black man or black woman, a word to the wise, not only will you end up with serious egg on your face, but it will be a waiting game that will not end well, especially for you male creators who use your masculine powers to destroy the lives of others, or to childishly kiki at the downfall of others instead of using the gift of your masculinity to build, because absolutely no one will ever respect a court gesture for being a weak man. So that is all that I have to say on this for now. But to get this conversation started, why are so many people committed to making interracial dating their entire personality? And are black people guilty of using otherness as a status symbol? And as always, please stay tuned for more case study videos to come. And I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.